Welcome to Little Bighorn Treasure Hunting Sources 43, The Butchering at Wounded Knee. The stories I'm going to tell are by Nicholas Black Elk to John Neward, translated to John Neward by Benjamin Black Elk, and then Benjamin's story to Wendell. You decide, they're a little different. And this is the sharps right here that came to me with 7 other sharps. And one of them, the 7, it belonged to Blue Coat. If you look in the previous videos, it has the Togia names of all the 7 nations and was used at the Sitting Bull election for Supreme War Leader. Please watch some of those other ones and share them with others. The massacre at Wounded Knee happened December 29th, 1890, 2 weeks after the murder of Sitting Bull. And as Sitting Bull had seen in his vision, he was to be killed by his own people, and he was. The Sescamaza, the metal breasts wearing the badge, and they were the Indian police. So the first story comes out of John Nearhart's book, Black Elk Speaks, page 266 through 268. And it starts out, "After the soldiers marched away, I heard from my friend Dog Chief how the trouble started. And it was right there by Yellowbird where it happened. This is the way it was. In the morning, the soldiers began to take all the guns away from the Bigfoots who were camped in the flat below the little hill where the monument and burying ground are now. The people had stacked most of their guns and even their knives by the teepee where Bigfoot lay lying sick. Soldiers were on the little hill and all around. There were soldiers across the dry gulch to the south, over the east along the Wounded Knee Creek also. The people were nearly surrounded, and wagon guns, which are cannons, were pointing at them. Some had not yet given up their guns, and so the soldiers were searching all the teepees, throwing things around and poking into everything. There was a man called Yellowbird, and he and another man were standing in front of the teepee where Bigfoot was laying sick. They had on white sheets around and over them with eye holes to look through, and they had guns under these. An officer came up to search them. He took the other man's gun and then started to take Yellowbird's, but Yellowbird would not let go. He wrestled with the officer, and while they were wrestling, the gun went off, killed the officer. Wasichus and some others have said he meant to do this, but Dog Chief said he was standing right there, and he told me it was not so. As soon as the gun went off, Dog Chief told me, an officer shot and killed Bigfoot, who was lying sick inside the teepee. Then suddenly nobody knew what was happening except that the soldiers were all shooting and the wagon guns, the cannons, began going off right in among the people. Many were shot down right there. The women and children ran into the gulch and up the west, dropping all the time, for soldiers shot them as they ran. There were only about 100 warriors, and there were nearly 500 soldiers. The warriors rushed to where they had piled their guns and knives. They fought the soldiers with only their hands until they got their guns. Dog Chief saw Yellowbird run into a teepee with his gun, and from there he killed soldiers until the teepee caught fire. Then he died full of bullets." Now that's out of Black Elk Speaks, the book. And this is the report from Wendell. Let me turn the page here so you can also see Yellowbird's name on this side. Here, it's on the forend. And he's also here on this piece. And it says, this 1859 Sharps percussion saddle ring carbine, serial number C23767. During my examination of this Sharps, I found the name Yellowbird Medicine Man written in Togia on the right side of the stock, left side of the stock, left side of the forend, as shown on illustrations 1, 2, and 3, respectively. Yellowbird was born in the 1830s to Oglala, Lakota Sioux, and became a medicine man like his father. Yellowbird fought at the Rosebud Battle with Crazy Horse and was one of the medicine men assigned to treat the wounded at the encampment at the Little Bighorn. When the time came to surrender, Yellowbird and his wife and daughter surrendered with Crazy Horse's band. After Crazy Horse was killed in September 1877, Yellowbird joined Big Road and traveled into Canada to join Sitting Bull. In spring of 1880, Yellowbird and a small band of Oglala joined Spotted Eagle, the Sanart chief, traveled to Fort Keogh to surrender. The group of 495 people officially surrendered October 23rd, 1880. They were then transferred in June 1881 to the Standing Rock Agency. Yellowbird and his family remained at Standing Rock Agency, while Spotted Eagle and the Sanarks were sent to the Cheyenne River Agency. When the Ghost Dance movement came to the Standing Rock Reservation in late 1889, Yellowbird as a medicine man became involved. After Sitting Bull was killed, Bigfoot was invited to the Pine Ridge Reservation by Red Cloud, which enabled Yellowbird and his Oglala to join the Bigfoot and return home. When Bigfoot and his band arrived at the Pine Ridge Reservation, they camped at Wounded Knee. The next morning, the soldiers, and this was the 7th Cavalry, that was Custer's outfit, the soldiers ordered them to give up their weapons. Yellowbird did not agree with the soldiers' demands, so he walked around blowing an eagle bone whistle. He urged all the Ghost Dance warriors to resist because he thought the soldiers were weak and powerless and their bullets would not go through the sacred Ghost Dance shirts. One of the soldiers tried to open one of the warriors' blankets, so Yellowbird threw a handful of dirt at the soldier. Black Fox, a young warrior, thought this was the signal to fight, so he opened his blanket and drew out his rifle and started to shoot the soldiers. Yellowbird ran for his lodge to get his Sharps carbine, but as he came out of his lodge, he was shot dead by a soldier. Benjamin Black Elk told me his father, Nicholas, told him that the Oglala went to the Wounded Knee battlefield the next morning and picked up the weapons that remained on the ground. Nicholas said a medicine man called Yellowbird was found in his lodge. His face was painted green and wearing a specially decorated Ghost Dance shirt with a war bonnet next to him. Under his body, a Sharps rifle was found unfired. Ben said the reason his father was told this information was because Yellowbird always said the Ghost Dance shirts would stop the bullets for the soldiers, but it did not save Yellowbird. I believe the rifle of Yellowbird was placed in the cache on the Pine Ridge Reservation as one of the last guns to come out of the cache cave and returned to the descendants of Yellowbird. Also, if you notice on this gun, it has black paint all over these parts. You can see where the black paint dripped down. And in a future video, I will describe about the reason they painted some of these. It was a blessing. So thank you, and God bless. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.